The moment everyone thought everything had changed, that's exactly when the real story actually began. Because after that shocking run at Talladega, after coming this close to pulling off one of the biggest underdog wins in recent stock car history, everyone assumed one thing, that Cleetus McFarland had finally proven he belongs at the highest level. But that's not what happened. In fact, the exact opposite happened. Because despite that insane performance, despite finishing right at the front, despite outdriving drivers with far more experience, Cleetus still did not get NASCAR's Superspeedway approval. Yeah, you heard that right. And what that means is way bigger than most fans realize. Because now, everything comes down to one single race, one single opportunity that could either unlock his entire future or stop his momentum completely. And trust me, once you understand what's really going on behind the scenes, this story becomes way more intense than it looks on the surface. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because this isn't just about one race. This could decide Cleetus McFarland's entire NASCAR future. And if you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Nation News, because we break down the stories that most fans completely miss. We're also pushing to hit 1,000 subscribers, so your support really matters. Hit that subscribe button and help us reach that milestone. Now here's where things get interesting. Let's start with the part that confused everyone, Talladega. One of the fastest, most unpredictable, and most dangerous tracks in all of racing. A place where even seasoned veterans struggle to survive, let alone dominate. And somehow Cleetus didn't just survive, he almost won. Running up front, making aggressive but controlled moves, holding his line in the draft, making decisions that you normally only see from drivers with years of experience at that level. For a moment, it didn't feel like a YouTuber trying to prove himself. It felt like a legitimate contender. And that's exactly why the reaction afterward was so explosive. Fans were shocked, analysts were surprised, and a lot of people started asking the same question. If he can do that at Talladega, why isn't he already fully approved? And this is where the story takes an even more interesting turn, because now it's not just fans reacting. Insiders are starting to take this seriously too. Denny Hamlin actually broke down what happened at Talladega, and his perspective changes how you look at that entire race. According to Hamlin, this wasn't luck. It wasn't some random fluke run where everything just fell into place. He explained that superspeedway racing is all about timing, positioning, and understanding the draft, and surprisingly, Cleetus executed all three at a very high level. He was choosing the right lanes, staying in clean air, and most importantly, he wasn't panicking under pressure. And that's something you almost never see from a driver with limited experience at that level. Hamlin even pointed out that at Talladega, winning isn't just about having speed, it's about decision-making, and Cleetus kept himself in contention all the way to the end. But at the same time, there was a clear reality check. Because even Hamlin hinted at it, one great performance is impressive, but consistency is what proves you truly belong. And that's exactly why Nashville now becomes even more critical than before. Because what most people don't understand is, one great performance isn't enough. Not at this level. Not when safety is involved. Not when you're talking about superspeedways, where one small mistake can take out half the field. And NASCAR knows that. That's why even after that near win, they still held back. No full superspeedway approval. No immediate jump to the next level. Instead, they made it clear. He still has something to prove. And that brings us to the moment that now matters more than anything else. Nashville. This isn't just another race on the schedule. This is the evaluation, the test, the checkpoint that will decide whether Cleetus moves forward or stays stuck in this in-between stage. Because unlike Talladega, this isn't about surviving chaos. This is about control, consistency, decision-making over an entire race distance, how he handles traffic, how he manages tires, how he adapts when things don't go his way. This is the kind of race where NASCAR looks closely and asks, is he ready? Or was Talladega just a moment? And that's a brutal question. Because motorsports history is full of drivers who had one incredible performance but couldn't back it up. And NASCAR doesn't reward moments, they reward consistency. So now, all the pressure shifts onto Nashville. And here's where the situation gets even more intense. Because if Cleetus performs well here, not just decent, but truly solid, it could change everything. We're talking about unlocking opportunities that were completely out of reach just weeks ago. More races, bigger tracks, and yes, eventually, Superspeedway approval. The same tracks he's currently being held back from could suddenly be wide open to him. That's why insiders are saying this race could unlock everything, not in a dramatic, exaggerated way, but in a very real, career-defining way. Because approval in NASCAR isn't just about speed, it's about trust, and right now, Cleetus is close, closer than he's ever been. But he's not there yet. And that's the part that makes this story so compelling. Because we're not watching someone who's completely outside the system anymore. We're watching someone right on the edge of breaking through. One performance away, one mistake away, one race away from either proving the doubters wrong or giving NASCAR a reason to hold back even longer. And let's be honest, that pressure changes everything. It changes how you drive. It changes how you think. It changes how you react when things don't go perfectly. Because now it's not just about finishing the race, it's about proving you deserve more. And that's where Nashville becomes a completely different kind of challenge. No drafting pack to hide in, no chaotic crashes to shuffle the field, no wild last lap surprises to create opportunity. This is about pure execution, lap after lap, decision after decision. And that's exactly what NASCAR wants to see. Because if Cleetus can show that level of control, if he can prove that Talladega wasn't just a perfect storm of circumstances, then there's no real argument left. At that point, holding him back becomes harder to justify. But if he struggles, if mistakes start showing up, if the performance drops off, then suddenly, everything changes again. The narrative shifts, the doubts come back, and that momentum he built at Talladega, it starts to fade. And that's why this moment matters so much. Because it's not just about what he's already done, it's about what he does next, and whether he can turn potential into proof. So now, all eyes are on Nashville. Not just fans, but NASCAR itself, watching, evaluating, deciding. Because this isn't just another race weekend, this is a turning point. And by the time it's over, we'll finally have a real answer. Is Cleetus McFarland truly ready for the next level? Or is there still a gap he needs to close? Either way, this next race isn't just another opportunity, it's the moment that will decide if Cleetus McFarland truly belongs, or if NASCAR still isn't convinced.